Let's be real, huns. If you don't drink Starbucks out of a £16.95 cup of theirs, then are you even a Starbucks fan though? Are you even a fan though? £16.95, but it's cute. Struggling here, huns. Just want it to chill like that, off my shoulders and look all cute. When I go like that, what's that? What is that? Hello honeys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining me now then, lucky you, because we got a new setup today, mate. Look how cute it is. I'm all really excited about it because I didn't want the brown bed in the background. The brownness was annoying me, I don't know why, but we can change it up. Sometimes we can have the brown bed, sometimes we can have this white sheet. The little bows in the corner. Made them, didn't I? Well, it's not really hard to make them, I just made them out of ribbon. Okay, one thing that's slightly annoying is, can you see the lights are pink? I don't know if you can see, but didn't really think about that. Just thought, oh, I'll pick up those lights, pick it up. Oh, there you go, the top's just chilling back there. Let's chill it on the shoulders there, but it's a cute setup, no? Just thought for a chatty kind of video like this, it's nicer to sit on my bed and just be with my huns. You know. But at least the pink lights go with this cute little pink top. So cute. You know me, I love an off the shoulder. We need to talk about my hair. It's a hot little mess. It is so greasy. I was like, do I get in the shower? No, I'll film and then I'll reward myself by showering. I'll be like, okay, I've done filming now. Get in the shower and get clean. Because this hair, like, you know that hair where it's that, here it's going in my lip gloss, thank you. You know when it's that greasy that you just sort of move it and it'll stay. Like, look. That would stay there. That doesn't need hairspray, that would just stay there. Enough about my big ball of grease. Anyway, I've got to say something just before I begin. So I go into the Starbucks all the time. Love this Starbucks in London, always go there, always go there. And there's this guy in there called Ron. Ron, you're a lad, mate, you're a lad, Ron. And Ron was like, didn't know you do YouTube. I was like, why don't you know? You're not a subscriber. But then he said that his girlfriend watches me. So Amanda, if you're watching this, girl, I hope you are watching this, because if you're not, then Ron lied. Ron lied. But if you are watching, Amanda, babes, I'm shouting you out. You girl, you girl. I might actually do a little shout out once a video. I do 2 videos, don't I, a week? Wednesdays and Sundays, tune in. I do 2 videos a week, so why not do a little shout out for my huns? As you can probably tell from the title, huns, this video is going to be all about my previous relationship experience and any advice I've had from those experiences. Just to quickly pre-warn you, it's not going to be a funny one, so I should probably get all my humour out now. Ignore me, but it's not going to be a funny one because it's just going to be me sitting here talking to you about breakups, breakdowns of relationships, advice about being on my own, about being single. A lot of my honeys messaging me about breakups and how to deal with breakups and how to deal with a heartbreak, so I just thought I'd make one big video for my honeys. Not only a really nice way for you to get to know me a bit more, but it's also a really nice thing for me to be able to share my journey with you. I can happily sit here and say that I've been single for 4 years, over 4 years, and I'm very, very content with my life. That is something I never, ever, 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 ever. Did you get the gist? Ever. I never thought I would ever say that. Ever. How many times do I say ever? You should do a little drinking game. Every time I say ever, you gotta drink. Every time I say ever, you've got to eat Swedish fish. I'm gonna break this video up into like 3 sections. I've written the sections down so we don't get lost along the way. Firstly, I'm gonna tell you a bit about my ex-boyfriends and our relationship and the breakups. Secondly, I'm gonna tell you about my journeys being single and finding my independence. Thirdly, I'm gonna share with you any advice that I can possibly give. I'm not sitting here and saying I'm perfect, I'm definitely not. But if I can make one of you more confident and independent, then I've done my job. I've done my job. I can wash. I can finally get a shower. I sound really dirty. Don't worry, I do wash, but my hair's so greasy. I don't really wash it every day. I wash it every 4 days, and this is the 4th day. You know. My Swedish fish, let's start talking about my exes. And if my ex-boyfriends are watching this, then huns, you missed out because I'm an 11. I'm an 11 out of 10. Please understand, I am joking. I promise you, I'm joking. I don't think I'm an 11. I think I'm a 12. I'm definitely joking. But being real here, if my ex-boyfriends are watching this, then huns, can you at least subscribe? Because, do you know what I mean, baby boy? Like, sort of get out. I need to rename the boys because obviously I'm not going to sit here and start telling you about my exes. My first boyfriend is going to be called Ryan. Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds, you know. I'm going to call him Ryan. I wish he was Ryan. And then my second boyfriend is going to be called... He was going to be called. I wrote it down. Going to be called... And my second boyfriend is going to be called Liam. Well, my second ex-boyfriend is going to be called Liam because I do actually like Liam Hemsworth. I love that film he's in with Miley Cyrus. I was about to call her Hannah Montana. I used to love Hannah Montana. Oh, that film they're in together. I love it so much. Me and Jacob always watch it together. We're so cute. Just before we get into this video, I want you to know that everyone has a past and I'm going to share with you everything. I'm telling you everything. A lot of it is so personal to me, but I feel as though I can share anything with all of you and I know you won't judge me. I genuinely feel as though I can tell you anything and no one's going to look at me differently. No one's going to react to me differently. I genuinely trust the love that you give me and I hope that you trust the love I give you back. Because realistically, what I'm telling you now is what makes me me and it's what's shaped me into the person I am today. And hopefully you all love that person. So I have to be completely honest with you and I know that you're not going to judge me. I just want to say I'm really grateful that I actually can talk to you all about all this. No one wants to go through a breakup. No one wants to go through that. But it's so nice that I get to share this with you and talk about it with you. Because my parents have always taught me that it's so important to share things, never bottle things in. It's so much harder to bottle something in than it is actually to let it out. I honestly feel so much more relieved when I talk about things and I'm so lucky I get to sit here and talk with you about it. So let's start with, what's his name again? Ryan. So I was 14 when someone first mentioned Ryan's name to me and they were like, you're really gonna fancy him, but he's older than you, Imogen. When I saw Ryan, I was like that. Thought I was in love. I thought I was in love. I swear to you, I thought I was in love. Should we put a bit of highlight there, shall we? Yeah, might as well. We're going to be talking about exes. We need to glow, you know. Now, something I should definitely tell you is that Ryan actually had a child. Ryan's child was 7 months old when we started going out. I'm going to cut a very long story short, but me and Ryan ended up staying together for a very long time. When I was 14 to when I was 19. So weird calling him Ryan because I just want to call him his name. It's really hard. And some of you are probably thinking you went out with someone that had a child even though you were a child yourself, and you're right, I was a child myself. And I look back now and there's no regret of mine in the slightest. I love that boy so much and I will always have so much love for him. A different kind of love now, but I have no bad words to say about the boy. A lot of people react very differently when you tell them you went out with someone with a child, which to me is crazy because when you love someone, you don't care. As much as people might look at that like he had a kid, yeah, but I had things as well. Like my parents were divorcing at the time. Looking back now, I was searching for a family and I couldn't handle it. I genuinely understand that a lot of you might be like, what? But personally, I genuinely don't think you can judge someone until you've been in certain situations. You can never judge anyone because you don't know until you've been in that situation. And people handle things in so many different ways. Ryan was older than me and he gave me so much stability. I wanted someone to look after me and emotionally he did that. He was a rock for me. But at the beginning it wasn't like that. At the beginning he really didn't want me. I think he fancied me. No, he fancied me. He fancied me. We had that connection, but I was younger than him. He had loads of stuff to deal with and for him it was just like, this isn't gonna happen. But I was determined. I wanted that boy. Can you see my hair shake? I wanted him from the get-go and I was gonna get him. I was gonna make him man. And he always said to me, because you were so loving to me, you brought out a side of me I didn't realise I had. I would love to do a video about my previous relationships and just about those two relationships, but I feel like I could sit here and talk for hours about those relationships because they're very long stories. How they happened, how they started. Oh my god, I should tell you the stories of how they both started because one day I should tell you those stories. So if you want to see those stories then please let me know below, but I'm just going to talk about a brief overview of the relationships and the breakdowns because really I just want to talk about breakups in this video and my advice to you. So I don't really want to sit here and start telling you about Ryan and Liam. Just have to check for the notes again. But at the beginning of our relationship he really didn't want me. It was really difficult and I felt so rejected. I was so young and I really wanted this boy and I wasn't going to give up on it because obviously he had a child and he had an ex-girlfriend. It was very difficult for him because as much as I was young, he was still young, dealing with a lot of things. In the beginning couple of years, as much as I loved him so much, they were hard. I'm not going to lie to you and sugarcoat it. I was an insecure young girl. Being insecure and being young and having your parents break up and being with someone who's older, who could go out clubbing, who could do all the things I couldn't do because I was too young. That was really difficult. But not only that, I had to deal with the fact that my boyfriend had a baby. He had a baby with someone else. He'd already done that with someone else. And I used to think to myself, when we eventually have a child, he's already done it all. And I was too young to process that. Even though I knew it, getting into it, it's one thing knowing it and actually knowing it. It's all well and good to look at a situation and be like, oh, I can handle it. But when you're actually in it, sometimes it's very different. And if I had that situation now, I could handle it. I could definitely handle it. I'm older. I'm 24. I'm going to meet someone that's maybe 28 when I'm older and he might have had a kid. He might have been married before. I don't know what my next partner's going to bring to the table. I have no idea. But I know I can handle it now. But back then, I was way too young and way too insecure to deal with. I mean, to be fair, I'm putting myself down here, but I did really deal with it. I became a stepmom, I guess, at the age of 17 because his little boy was coming around to my family house. And my parents at the beginning really did not approve of Ryan. Is that his name? Yeah. Because of the way he was in the beginning, because he wasn't very good to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. But he fully loved me. Oh God, that boy gave me endless amounts of love. He loved me so much. He was my support system. We were a team. Then when I moved out, his kid would live with us 2 days a week. I loved that little boy more than I can explain to you. Obviously, I don't have a child and I don't know what it's like to love a child yet because I haven't had my own. But I loved that little boy as if he was my own. I honestly adored that little boy. In the middle of the night, I would get up with him. If he'd wake us up on Sunday at 5 o'clock in the morning, I would be with him. I adored that little boy. I'm cutting a massively long story short. But one day I went to my dad's house and having date night. We were going bowling. We always had our little date nights every week. I went to my dad's house because it was closer to the bowling place in Brighton than our house was. So he called me and he was like, hello Bear. And I was like, hello Bean. We called each other Bean and Bear. I know, it's cute. I think it's cute. He was like, baby, I'm not gonna come home tonight. And I was like, oh, what? And he was like, I'm not coming home ever. And I was like, wait, what? I genuinely didn't believe him. Beginning, that boy was not good to me. But when he fell in love with me, he was an angel and he adored me. He gave me unconditional love. So it came out of nowhere. I mean, we had our arguments and we had our ups and downs. Who doesn't? I think that's what makes you stronger sometimes, because you argue things out. You're two different people. You come together and you're like, right, we're going to get through this. But then when he said to me, I'm not coming home ever, your heart just sinks. You sink. You drop. You're a mess. I look back now and it was all a bit... I said to him, you're joking. I don't believe you. And he was like, no. And I said, so after 5 years, you're going to break up with me over the phone? And he was like, yeah. And I said, well, you can come to my dad's house now and you can tell me this to my face. I still didn't really believe it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I still didn't think, I didn't process it. So then he came to my door and my dad was behind the door and I remember he was like, Imogen, just don't cry. And like, even now, I have no love for the boy. Obviously, I loved him, but I don't love him now. And I look back and it still makes me upset now. You're with someone, you live with them, and then they come to your house and they say no thanks. And you're like, wait, what? And I was like, please just give me a reason, like, please. And I'm not gonna lie to you, honeys, I'm being completely honest with you. I was begging him. I was completely begging him. This was my first love. This was my first everything. He was everything. He was everything. I said to him, please just tell me what's going on. I don't get it. Please, have I done something wrong? And he was like, no, Imogen, I just grew up too quick. I was with someone, I had a baby, and then I've been in such a long-term relationship with you and I want to be with you for the rest of my life, but there's things I need to get out of my system first. And I was like, wait, what? But I'm willing to be with you for the rest of my life and only be with you for the rest of my life, but you want to suddenly hitch up and leave. He said basically he wanted to be a lad. His words, not mine. He genuinely said to me, I need to be a lad. He said to me, I want to go on lads holidays. I said, go on lads holiday. But it was obvious what he wanted and what I guess one girl couldn't give him. What's sad was that I knew he loved me. I knew he adored me, but he was just in a different mindset. I was on the floor, you know, crying, my eyes out. You think the whole world has stopped. You think the world stopped. It sounds really, really, really overdramatic, but when someone breaks your heart, I never wish that pain on anyone. I would never even wish that pain on anyone in my life. Heartbreak, I think, is genuinely the worst feeling. It's in your stomach and it's there 24/7. Then I said to him, right, Ryan, look me in my face, please now. Please tell me that once you walk away from me now, you'll never come back to me, because I promise you, I will never take you back. No matter how much I love you, I will never take you back. I know what kind of person I am. If he came back to me, I never would have forgotten him doing that. I loved that boy so much. I did everything for that boy. Sometimes we could only afford our rent and couldn't afford to eat. I would make sure that boy had his pizza and I wouldn't care if I was just eating a chocolate bar. Still got the labels on. Oh God. But it doesn't matter what you do for someone. I loved him. I loved him and he was willing to walk away from me because he wanted to basically sleep with other people and go on loads of nights out and get really drunk off his face. He could have got really drunk off his face and still been with me, but I guess the other girls, he definitely couldn't have had. He definitely couldn't have had. I would not have allowed that. So I really respect him in that sense. He didn't go and cheat on me. He said to me, Imogen, I have certain things I want to do. Honestly, he said this to me. He was like, you are the only person I see myself with. You're the only person I see myself marrying. I love you, but I just can't be with you right now. So I said to him, okay, walk away from me now and just know that I can never take you back, because I know what I'm like. I would bring it up. I couldn't forget it. I can forgive something, but sometimes my brain is so annoying, I can't forget things. And everyone's different. Some people can break up with their husbands and then have them back. Some people can let someone cheat on them and still have them back, but I know what I'm like. I can't do that. I said to him, look me in the face and genuinely tell me you don't want me? And he looked me up and down. I never forget it. He looked me up and down and he was like, I just don't want you right now. And then he walked away, and obviously I'm over that boy. But talking about heartbreak is horrible. And it wasn't just me that went through it, it was my family. Like, they had to watch me be heartbroken. They had to pick up the pieces. Never forget the night he broke up with me. We both went out clubbing, because apparently that's what you do. It's the worst thing I could ever have done. And I went clubbing and someone said to me, oh, your ex-boyfriend's inside. And I was like, ex-boyfriend? I don't have an ex-boyfriend. It still hadn't clicked. It still hadn't clicked. And then when he told me that, this guy, he said, your ex-boyfriend's inside, I just broke down. It just hit me and I was like, oh my God, I can't be here, I can't be here. I saw him and his friends were like, Imogen, he loves you, he still wants to be with you. He'll definitely work this out. And I was like, no, he doesn't want me. And he came over to me and I begged that boy. I said, please, I love you so much, please, I just want to be with you, please don't break my heart. I was crying my eyes out. And I never forget this, the photographer was walking past at the club and he was like, getting a photo with me, and I was like, as boyfriend and girlfriend? And he was like, no, as friends, as best friend. I don't want to be your best friend. I want to be your best friend, but I also want to be a girlfriend. So then I had to leave the club, and I went home and I walked home. I walked along Brighton seafront all the way home, which is like a half an hour walk, just because I was just so messed up. And I look back now and think that was so bad of me. Like, anything could have happened to me. But in that mindset, I know that some of you will understand, you just don't think. You don't think. A lot of things happened and I was determined to find a new boyfriend. I was like, I need a new boyfriend. The only way I'm going to get to that boy is by getting a new boyfriend. Genuinely telling you this from my heart, I thought I needed a new boyfriend. I was like, I need one, because I was so dependent. I was such a dependent person. I needed to be around friends. I needed to be around my boyfriend. I made that boy my everything. Am I sitting on something? I feel like I'm sitting on something under my bed. Oh yeah. Because I felt as though if he got a girlfriend before me, I would be even more broken than I was. So I was like, I need to get a new boyfriend. I was in no state of mind to get a boyfriend. I hadn't even got over this one. I was still completely in love with him. And basically my friend introduced me to Liam. Now the story of Liam is a really long story as well, so I won't start that, but I definitely want to tell you about that because this boy worked. The one thing I will say about Liam is the graft he put in is how every boy should work for a girl. He was an angel. He genuinely waited around for so long and I was in such a bad headspace. He did everything for me. When I was moving out of my flat, he came and cleaned my flat and I laid on the sofa crying about my ex-boyfriend and he was like, I will stay here and I will stick by you through all of this because I genuinely like you and I don't care how long it takes. And that boy became my best friend. I don't have regrets because I feel like there are always lessons learned, and I've definitely learned that being in a rebound relationship is not healthy at all. But having said that, I needed to do it. I needed to have that rebound relationship to know I never want to do it again, because all of my heartbreak and all of my pain I put on to my next boyfriend. I used to compare the two. I used to be with Liam and be like, oh God, but Ryan did that, and oh, but Liam does this, and it was just, my head was going to explode. But the problem was I was an extremely insecure, very dependent person, and the thought of being alone, can't even tell you, the thought of being alone was the scariest thing to me in the world. So I needed a new boyfriend. I needed to fill that void. And I started things with Liam 3 weeks later. 3 weeks later. To which point, just before this, Ryan comes running back to me and Ryan's like, I love you, I've realised, Imogen, I messed up, I don't want to be with anyone else but you. And I was like, I can't take you back. I can't take you back. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Like, my friends told me, he'll come running back to you and you'll be like, haha, I don't want you anymore. But my family told me it will be very difficult when he comes back to you. And 2 weeks later, I still love him so much. But when he came running back to me, I was like, I'm never gonna trust you again. I'm never gonna trust that you won't walk away in times of trouble. Our relationship wasn't perfect, me and Ryan's. But when there was times of trouble, I was there for him. When we had to go through certain things with his child, certain things with his ex-girlfriend, I stood by that boy. But when he genuinely had one doubt in his mind, he was like, bye, goodbye. And I thought to myself, no matter how much I love you, I don't want to marry a man who, if in times of trouble, runs away from me. Because how am I ever going to trust that you are going to always be there? Imagine I get pregnant, imagine we have arguments because I'm hormonal, or imagine we have arguments because we've got stress of bills and stuff like that. Where is he going to go? Is he going to run away again and decide, oh no, this isn't for me? I had to say no, and actually that's one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make in my 24 years of life, having to say no to the person you love. 90% of you wants to be with him, 90% of you just wants to go, I love you, let's do it, let's make it work, fine. But then 10% of me was like, I can't. And I had to go with that, I had to go with my gut. So then I was with Liam. Liam was an ultimate baby boy. He worked hard to get me. He worked hard to get me, but my head was just not fully there. Now, don't get me wrong, I loved Liam. I loved Liam, but not for a very long time. I didn't love him for a good year. To begin with, I got with Liam because I was dependent of him. I was dependent of him to give me the stability that Ryan used to give me. I did really like him, but I didn't love him. Still loved someone else. And that's really horrible for me to admit. But then I was always very honest with Liam. I always said to him, Liam, I'm still in love with someone else. And he was okay with that. He was like, I will stay here because I know one day you're going to love me. And he was right. I ended up falling in love with him. But that was one thing. I was completely honest with him. I said, listen, my head's all over the place. I still don't know what I want. He was like, I don't care. A year later, I ended up moving in with him and I moved to Cardiff with him because of his job. Now, as much as I loved my first boyfriend was terrible with money. Terrible financially. I remember the majority of our dates would be me paying for it. And that's fine. I'm an independent woman. I'm fine with that. But if he had money, he would spend it on beer or he would spend it on going to the pub at the weekend. I want to save my money so that we can eventually have a house and eventually have all these plans. Because even when I was younger, I always wanted that family. I used to save my money and think, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And I used to have 3 jobs. I used to work so much. And I don't ever want to be financially dependent of a man. No. But I also wanted someone who sometimes would be like, oh, baby, I'll get this. Or even if he bought me a chocolate lint bunny for my birthday, I would have been happy with it. And when I went out with Liam, Liam was actually a footballer. And that was a lot of the reason why I didn't want to go out with him for a long time, because you hear so much about footballers. You do. Everyone hears things about footballers. There's always stories in the papers and stuff. And I was like, God, I don't think I want this. And also I didn't want anyone to think I was money grabbing, because I definitely wasn't. Let's be honest. I supported Ryan financially for 5 years and then I didn't want to go out with him because he was a footballer. If I wanted to have money, I would have jumped in there, wouldn't I? So then he got transferred to Cardiff for his job and I moved there with him. The relationship suddenly changed. I'm obviously not going to talk about it too much, but it just became very controlling. He wanted me to be dependent financially of him. You know, I was still working and then I was moving to London for uni and he just couldn't get it. He couldn't get that I wanted to get on the tube. He was like, you have to get taxis. He was very controlling. I'm being completely honest with you now because I feel like I can be. At the beginning of that relationship, it was actually really nice when I eventually started going out with him that he wanted to take me out on dates and wanted to buy me little cute presents because I hadn't had that for so long. But then it became a little bit controlling. And then it became a whole lot more controlling. I guess he wanted me to be financially dependent of him. And that wasn't something I wanted to do. I've always been very financially independent. He didn't want me to work. He didn't want me to be at uni in London. I actually tried to leave Liam a lot of time. Around my birthday, I think it was like 2 days before my birthday, he booked for us to go to France. And I was so excited about it, and he came up to London and he was meeting me outside uni and then we were going to go get the Eurotunnel. He was like, should we just go to Nando's before we get the Eurotunnel? And I was like, where's your suitcase? Where's your luggage? And he was like, it's back at the flat, we'll go back there. And I was like, but we're right by King's Cross, I don't really understand it. And I texted my dad, I never forget it, I texted my dad and I said, Dad, Liam's going to break up with me. And he was like, stop being silly. Emotionally, I felt as though he loved me a lot more than I loved him. I was with him for 2.5 years. My heart was still with Ryan. That's me being completely honest. My heart was still mixed between the two. I loved him, but then I also loved him. I couldn't get my head around it. So then when he took me to Nando's, and he did eventually break up with me in Nando's, I'd broken up with him the week beforehand. And he begged and begged and begged for me to get back with him. So then when he broke up with me in Nando's, I was like, this is crazy. But I think slightly he just wanted the control. I genuinely think he just wanted to have the upper hand. I thought we were going to Disneyland for my birthday, and we weren't. So he broke up with me because he said that the person he'd become, this controlling, very possessive, was because of me. So I bring out the worst in him, but actually blaming me for the way you are. So that was really difficult for me because I was like really mixed up because I'd been left twice now. And I thought, oh my God, there must be something wrong with me. Like, have I brought out this side in him? And you start thinking so much. And I was hurt. But he was the one that was crying. He was sitting in front of me crying his eyes out and I was like, do you actually want to leave me? Like, I'm really confused. I was extremely broken. The reason I was so broken was because I hadn't dealt with my first breakup. By jumping straight into my second relationship, I hadn't dealt with it. I was still broken-hearted. Ryan and Liam that both left me and I was just like, oh my God, and I couldn't cope. I couldn't handle it. It's just the worst feeling. Your heart's in your stomach all the time. You just feel sick. You don't want to eat. You can't sleep. You're constantly reassessing yourself. You're constantly thinking you're rubbish, you're this, you're that. I said to Liam in front of me again, if you leave me now, just know I won't come back to you. Lo and behold, he comes running back to me, baby boy, and I said no. I said no. I said no, I don't want to be with you anymore. And I vowed to my parents and my brothers, I've never been single since I was 14. I was like, I need to be single. I need to be single and find my independence. And I said, give me a year and I won't even kiss a boy. And I didn't. I did not kiss a boy for over a year. I was like, I don't want to text a boy. I don't want to go near a boy. I just want to find my independence. And that was 3 years ago. And now I've been single for 4 years. You'll be happy to know, huns, I've stopped talking about my ex-boyfriends now. Yay. So we're on to being single. I broke this choker and I love this choker. And I've done a little DIY. I don't know if I can even show you. See? I've tied it with a ribbon. Because anybody got time for breaking chokers when you sneeze? I must have a wide neck. Sneeze and it just snaps off. I don't get it. I don't get it. I came out of those relationships and I wanted to be on my own. I promise you now, it has been the most amazing 4 years of my life. I look back at both my relationships and I wanted to try and take positives from the fact they broke down. And I'm grateful to them. They taught me so much. Not only am I so proud of myself that I was strong enough to say, no, listen, meant to be with those boys, I would still be with them now. I'm obviously not meant to be with them. Look back and find out what I wanted to change about myself. Not because they broke up with me and I wasn't thinking, oh my God, what do I need to change? There was something wrong with me. I was so dependent. I was so dependent to be with someone that I couldn't be single. I wanted to take the time to be single, to find myself, find out who Imogen actually was, because I'd always been Imogen, Ryan's girlfriend, or Imogen, Liam's girlfriend. And when I'm with someone and when I love them so much. I give every single inch of love to that person, whether you're my friend, whether you're my boyfriend, whether you're my family member. I give you so much love, but I needed to give myself some love. I was so dependent that I needed a boyfriend to tell me I'm beautiful to believe it. I didn't believe it otherwise. I'd come out of the toilet sometimes and if they didn't say, you look beautiful, I'd think, I need to change. I need to get changed. I don't look nice. As funny as it sounds, I needed to find myself. I needed to find some love somewhere within myself. I'm just gonna have a Swedish fish because we're getting deep. Do you know what I mean? The thing is, with society now, I think that being single is something which some people are like, what? Like, you're single? And they kind of look at you as if you're not wanted. What's difficult now is, especially with social media, we see these incredible relationships and we're looking at them and thinking, relationship goals, we want that, oh my God. But you can be just as alone being in a relationship as you can be on your own. I've been in a relationship where I felt so alone. With my second boyfriend, I felt so lonely in myself because I didn't really know what I was doing, I didn't really know what I wanted, but I was too scared to be single. What's crazy is that I would rather have been in a relationship where I felt so lonely at the time than been single, because I felt like everyone would have been like, oh my God, you're single, and you feel a bit of a failure, which is ludicrous. Like, why would you feel like a failure just because you're single? But society has this pressure on us that we feel like we need to be in a relationship. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to be in a relationship. You can want to be in a relationship. It should never be a need. And it's okay to be on your own. Oh, Siri's going off underneath me. Recently, a lot of people have messaged me like, how are you okay that you're single? Like, how are you still so happy and so? How am I happy? I'm so happy. Just because I'm single doesn't mean I'm unhappy because I haven't got a boyfriend. I will have a boyfriend one day. I hope I do. I definitely will. Because I want to have a family and I want to have a husband, I want to have all that, but you don't have to rush it. You don't have to be in a relationship because everyone around you is in relationships. Just because your friends are in a relationship doesn't mean you have to be. When you're meant to be in a relationship, you will be. I would much rather be on my own than be in a relationship where I feel alone. I'm just staying with them because I'm scared to be alone. Not that girl anymore. I used to be that girl and I've learned not to be that girl because I was so unhappy. I was staying in relationships, being with them just because I felt like, okay, well, they love me, I've got to stay with them. Well, no, you don't. You don't have to be with anyone. If you love yourself and you know your worth, you don't have to be with anyone. What I will say is though, don't accept rubbish. Don't accept someone treating you badly. Don't stay there. Life is too short to stay in a relationship where you're not being treated like the princess or the prince that you are. You are princesses and you are princes. So be treated like one. Doesn't mean you need to be fed grapes and have a red carpet rolled out for you. It means you deserve to be treated like an angel that you are. You deserve to have someone that's loyal to you. You deserve to have someone that makes you feel secure. You deserve to have someone that makes you feel secure. You deserve to have someone that's loyal. You deserve someone who loves you. Anything else is irrelevant. If someone treats you badly, get out. Get out. Because when you're older and your daughter comes to you and says, Mom, or your son comes to you and says, Mom or Dad, you know, someone's treating me badly, you'll say the same thing to them. Think about it like this. My brother always says to me, do you see yourself having a child with that person? If you don't see yourself having a child with that person, if you don't see yourself bringing a baby into this world with that person because part of you doesn't trust that person or part of you thinks, you know, you're not actually meant to be together but you just feel like you need them, then walk away. When your child comes to you and asks for advice, what advice would you give them? Because that advice, take it yourself. Let's say when I have a daughter and she comes to me and he says he doesn't know if he wants to be with me, like he's not sure. I'll say, baby girl, my baby. If someone's not sure, you are too amazing for someone to not be sure of you. Get rid, goodbye. Sorry, but life is so short. You can find someone who respects you and deserves you. Don't waste time, because realistically, the foundations you build your relationship on need to be strong. Because if they aren't strong, your relationship's gonna break down. And that's what I've learned. My first boyfriend, our relationship was lovely towards the end, but at the beginning, it didn't work. And at the end, he turned out to be the person he was at the beginning. And I changed him for a while because he loved me and he wanted to be different for me. But he said at the end, I love you and I'm a different person because I love you, but this isn't the person I actually am. And it's true, my brother always says, like a lion in a sheep's clothing. You know, you can put sheep's clothing on them, but there's still a lion underneath. You shouldn't have to change someone. We all change slightly when we're in relationships because, you know, you're two different people and you're coming at it from different angles and you need to change to work. It's a partnership. You shouldn't have to change someone drastically, because if you're trying to change them, then they're not meant for you. And also, 9 times out of 10, you think you're going to change someone, but you can't. That person has to change for themselves, not for you. The whole time of me being single and being independent was my journey. And I'm grateful for those boys who broke my heart. And I'm grateful for my relationships with them, because I felt what love feels like. I know what I want from a relationship, what I don't want from a relationship. There's always something positive you can take from it. And I know that sounds silly, because at the time when you're brokenhearted, you think, this is the world's worst thing that could ever happen to me, but it's not. It's actually not. One day, your heart will heal. Did I say that right? Heal. One day, I promise you, your heart will heal. But the problem with me was I was looking for someone else to mend my broken heart when you can do it yourself. I'm not saying that if you break up with someone, then you meet someone 2 months later, don't be with them because you're not ready. It's different for every individual. I wasn't ready to jump into a new relationship, but a lot of people handle things differently, and you never know when you meet the love of your life. You just don't know, but you need to trust your gut. If your gut's saying, I'm not over my ex, I need to get over my ex, do that. Because not only is it unfair on the next person because they don't really get the full person, but you end up jumping into a relationship which isn't meant to be. As much as I loved Liam, I was never meant to be with him. He was my rebound relationship. But I'm grateful to him for that, because I realised so much about myself. Clearly, I realised I needed to be on my own. And this 4 years of me being single has been amazing. I'm not saying everyone needs 4 years, they definitely don't. I don't care whether I have to wait 8 years. I don't care whether I have to wait 10 years or whether I meet someone in 2 days or 4 hours. Well, it's definitely not gonna be 4 hours because I need some sleep. But I'm open to it now. But I needed to be single to understand what I want, who I am, where I want to go in life, and who I want by my side, because I want a team member. I want someone who's my team, who supports me and is loyal. I don't want money. I don't want someone to buy me anything. I don't want someone to spoil me financially. I want someone to spoil me with unconditional love. And I'm open to meeting that person, but you just have to trust the timing of your life. When something's meant to be, it will just happen. The more you go out searching for something, the more you attract negative things. The more you want a boyfriend, 9 times out of 10, they're not around. And then when suddenly you get into a relationship, they all come surrounding because you don't want one. Just wait for it to come naturally, because things that aren't forced tend to work out better. I think it's so important though for us to love ourselves. You cannot allow someone to love you before you love yourself. You don't need anyone to tell you you're beautiful. You need to know it yourself. We all have those days where we don't feel beautiful, and we all have those days where we feel really insecure. Once you realise and own your insecurities and own your imperfections and start loving yourself, then someone else can start to love you. My ex-boyfriends used to tell me I was beautiful, but I needed them to tell me that. Otherwise I didn't believe it. Now I don't need anyone to tell me I'm beautiful. Like, some days, don't get me wrong, I don't feel beautiful. Everyone has those days. We feel bloated, we feel like that. That's as much as I can say it. We all have those days. If you're a girl, a boy, a woman, a man, we all have those days. Every single person has those days. It's about finding your inner strength to understand those days, to ride out those emotions, to understand that, okay, fine, this is a bad day. Tomorrow will be a different day. I'm not saying that it'll take you 4 years. I'm not saying that it'll take you 6 years. I'm not telling you it'll take 1 day. But the journey to finding self-love, a process that only you will know how long it takes. I'm not arrogant. I don't look at myself in the mirror and go, you're unreal. But if someone says to me, oh, you look pretty today, I'll be like, thank you. You can tell yourself you're pretty. You can tell yourself that you like your singing voice. You can tell yourself that you like your eyes. You can tell yourself that you love your heart. That's not being arrogant. I pride myself on the fact I've got a beautiful heart. No one can tell me any different. Someone said to me, you've got an ugly heart. I know I don't. My heart is beautiful because I love deeply, I care, I'm compassionate, I'm loyal, and I protect my heart. I always make sure that I keep it beautiful because that's what I want to pride myself on. I know I always say it, but I would rather someone say to me, you've got a beautiful heart over a beautiful face or a beautiful body any day of the week. So that's what I will say to every single person, whether you're in a relationship or whether you're going through a breakup. Find self-love. It is so important. Don't make someone your everything. Don't make someone your everything, because that's what I did. And when they're gone, you feel like you've lost your whole world. You feel like you've lost your world. But if you love yourself, when they're gone, okay, they go. And it's still heartbreaking. Why do I keep going to touch my boobs? But if you love yourself, and if someone leaves you or your relationship breaks down, you can always depend on yourself. You can depend on yourself, and you will get over that heartbreak because you love yourself enough to say, no, I don't want this. You need to love yourself enough to say, I don't need it. And if someone leaves you and they don't want you, it's their loss. If someone says to you, I don't want you, then you are too good for them. And you need to love yourself enough to know that. You need to tell yourself, I am too good for you. If someone says to you, you're too good for me, yeah, you're right, I am too good for you. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye. If someone's saying that, they're saying that for a reason, honeybee. Just don't be taken for granted. Like, life is too short. Don't ever allow yourself to be taken for granted, because you'll look back 4 years down the line and think, I wasted 4 years on that person when I could have been actually finding someone who will treat me the way I deserve to be treated. If you see warning signs at the beginning, get out, because you're not in love with them yet. If you see warning signs at the beginning, get out. Run a mile, run wherever you can. Get the bus, get the train, get the tube, get a taxi, get an Uber, get whatever you can. Get whatever you can and get out. Save yourself that heartbreak. Protect your heart, babies. Protect your heart, baby honeys. Look after it and give it to the right person. To be fair, you never really know who the right person is, but trust your gut. Trust your gut. When you know, you know. Woman's instinct is very strong. I'm telling you, it's strong. And we know. We know. If there's signs in your head that's going, I don't know, or do I trust him? No, I don't. No, no. Find someone who you do trust and you have that bond with, because you will find him. Don't run into a relationship because you're scared of being on your own, because you'll run into the wrong relationship. Be on your own, be comfortable, and you'll find something. And you'll find someone who deserves you. What I want to say to someone who is going through a breakup now is, and the only advice I can give you is, yes, heartbreak is hard. Heartbreak is painful. No one is saying it isn't. You will get through it. I look back now at both my exes and I'm like, I see them with their new girlfriends and I'm like, so happy for you, because we weren't meant to be together and clearly you're meant to be with that person. But at the time, if you'd have said to me, Ryan's gonna be with someone else and he's gonna love her, I'd be like, no, he's not, why? I would have cried my eyes out. But now I'm like, I'm so happy for them. You know, on Instagram when you get those suggested photos on your homepage, ex-boyfriend, his girlfriend came up and I like clicked on it. I was like, oh, that's so nice. You will all feel that. You will be with someone else. If you're meant to be with him, it'll work out. Don't chase him, don't call him, don't run to him. Give him space. If he wants space and you want him, let him be. Because the more you pander to him and say these things, they get all scared. They get like, oh no, oh God, you're suffocating me. Give him space, give him time. No matter how much you want to run to him, no matter how much you want to call him, no matter how much you want to cry to him, no matter how much you want to beg to him, don't. Just give him time and give yourself time. Because you never know. In those 2 weeks you're giving him time to think about things, you might think about things and be like, actually, I don't know whether I do want to be with him. You know, it's not just about them that want to be with you. You need to think about what you want. In this life, you need to be selfish. I'm not selfish and horrible, but I'm selfish about my time and my love. I'm not going to give my love out to anyone who doesn't deserve it. Like, if I love you, I'll give it to you. Like, I love all of you so much. I love you all so much, and I want to do everything I can to make you happy, to support you, to be there for you. But I'm not going to give that love to just anyone. What I don't want you to do is sit there and go, oh my God, was it me? It was me. I did this wrong, I did this wrong. No, you didn't. Because even if you did do stuff wrong, if someone loved you, they'd stick by you. Everyone has imperfections. Everyone has imperfections. But when someone loves you, they stand by you and they say, right, Imogen, this annoys me a bit, but I'm not going to walk away from you because we're going to work through it together. That's what I want. I want a man. I don't want a boy. I've had my fair share of boys. I've had 2 ex-boyfriends that unfortunately were quite weak. First boyfriend was more of a man than my second boyfriend. My first boyfriend was my first love. He was loyal. He was my team. He was my team. Well, he was my old team. Not my team now. My second boyfriend was a lot weaker. And I want a man that's going to stand by me and say, right, we're going to do this. Like, my mum told me a story once about my dad, and my mum and dad, even though they're not together, they were a team. My mum and dad, they were together for a long time. They met when they were young. And my mum said she used to work in a bank. And when she was working in the bank, someone was bullying her in the office. This woman, this older woman was bullying her in the office. And my dad had his leg ripped apart in the park by one of the dogs. So my dad was walking our dog and this other dog attacked him, and dad tried to get involved and he got his leg pulled apart. And he had like metal in his leg, put in his leg, and he was on crutches. My dad went into my mum's office. Even though he was on crutches, he was like, I don't care. Went into my mum's office and was like, right, who's bullying my D? Who's bullying my D? And he went, whoever is doing it. He went crazy. He went crazy. Because that's someone that supports you. That's what I want. I want someone that's going to be as loyal to me as I am to them. That's all I want. And I know that I'm going to find it whenever I'm meant to meet the love of my life, and whenever I'm meant to meet my husband and my baby boy and my prince and whatever. He's going to be there. It's not going to be planned. It's not going to be that I'm looking for it. He's just going to come to me. But what you must do before you get into a relationship, or even if you are in a relationship now and you don't feel like you love yourself, you need to find some self-love. love. You should never have to depend on a man. Now, don't get me wrong, there are times when you need to depend on a man. You know, sometimes, let's say when I get pregnant, when I'm older, I'm gonna have to stop working. Well, hopefully if I'm doing YouTube, I can still do YouTube videos like with my baby and stuff and with my bump. But there are times when you need to depend on a man, but you should feel comfortable enough to know you're gonna depend on him and he's gonna be there to support you. He's gonna be there supporting you. Basically, what I'm trying to say, Huns, is you need to know your worth. You need to know just how much you're worth, because if you know your worth, no one can treat you badly, because you won't allow it. Because you'll know how much you deserve and how much respect you have for yourself. If someone tries to treat you like a mug, you'll be like, bye-bye, boy-bye, see ya. If a man is telling you he doesn't want to be with you, sorry, boy-bye, boy-bye, goodbye. Because you are amazing. You are amazing. You should be the one that's like, do I want to be with you though? Do I want to be with you? The man is saying he wants to keep you a secret. No. You should never be a secret. You should never be kept in the cupboard. You are too amazing to be kept in the cupboard. But do you know what? Before, when I was younger, because I was insecure, if someone said they needed to keep me a secret, I'd be like, okay, like I really want to be with you, and okay, we'll be a secret for a bit. What? No. But because now I know my worth and now I know what I want and how much I give to someone, do you want to keep me a secret? Goodbye. I'm too good to be kept as a secret. I am too good to be kept as a secret. And that's not me being arrogant. That's me saying, I don't deserve to be kept in the cupboard. Sorry? You should be proud of me. You should be proud to have me as your girlfriend. Not because I'm amazing, not because I'm beautiful, but because I'm me. And if you don't want to be with me, then bye. We need to stick together and we need to give each other a boost. We need to stop putting each other down and we need to raise and praise each other, because you know what? If we were all strong together, these people wouldn't be allowed to treat us badly, because we'd be so strong, we'd be like, goodbye, sorry, bye-bye. My honeys that are going through a breakup, I love you. I'm sorry you're going through this, but just know you will get through it. However bad it seems now, it will pass. There's that saying, and you know I love that saying, it's from The Dark Knight, love Batman, and it's the night is always darkest before the dawn. Things get bad before they get better. I tell you now, I've been there, I empathise with you, I feel your pain, I would never want to go through it again, but I might go through it again. I might meet someone in 2 weeks, fall in love with him, madly in love with him, be with him, and then our relationship breaks down 4 years later. But that's part of life. We go through it, it makes us stronger. We get up, we pick ourselves up, and we rise. My mum always says to me, okay, bend over and scoop up nothing. My parents were both foster, they had awful upbringings, they had awful childhoods, but they were like, no, do you know what? We're gonna pick ourselves up and we're gonna rise to this challenge. We're gonna bring up our children with endless amounts of love and we are gonna give them the childhood that we never did. But they could have gone another route. But they did, because you need to rise to the challenge. And I know it sounds bad, but what you need to remember is, okay, you're going through heartbreak now, but there's someone out there so much worse off than you. You need to put it in perspective and think, right, heartbreak is temporary. It will go away. I can't tell you how long it will go away. I can't tell you how long. Everyone's journey is different, but it will go away and you will heal and you will meet someone again that you love again. It is possible. You see these people that have been together for 25 years and then they break down and they break up and they have kids together. And then they meet someone else they love. You know, your heart can love more than once. I promise you that. And however you're feeling right now, it will go away, my babies. I promise. Time is a healer. Find yourself, find self-love, tell yourself every day something you love about yourself. I know it sounds silly, but it means so much, because if you stand strong on your own, no one can come for you. I am so proud of my journey. Now, I'm not going to say to you that what I went through being in those relationships, living with them both and them both breaking down was easy. I'm not sitting here and saying I'm the strongest person in the world, because trust me, I've not been strong. I've been very weak. I've been crying about it and whatever, but that was a long time ago. And the person I am now is because of all that. I am the strong person and independent person I am now because of that, because I realised I couldn't be that person anymore. I found my independence and now I know when I meet someone, I'll fall in love with them, but I'll always have my independence as well to fall back on. Sorry if this video has been really deep, honeys, but I just wanted to share with you my journey and where I am now, and I just wanted to give you a bit of advice, because it does get easier and it will get easier, and I promise you, even if you have to watch this video every single day just to tell yourself that you're beautiful, you are beautiful, you deserve the world. Remember that. Tell yourself that, and don't settle for anything less. Do not settle for anything other than what you deserve. And once you know what you deserve, you won't settle for anything rubbish. You'll have the best, because that's what you deserve. You deserve the best. Take it now that you've found it, it's finders keepers. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm a bitter woman about going through heartbreak. I'm not bitter in the slightest. I'm thankful, I'm grateful for going through those things because they made me who I am, and I actually quite like who I am. The video's been a tiny bit helpful to anyone out there, maybe knowing my journey, and I don't know, if I can help one of you love themselves, then I'd be so happy and content. How much has my head gone like this the whole time? Oh god. Oh my god, Hans, you know I was sitting on something earlier. Guess what I was sitting on? Nipple cream. Basically, my lips are very dry at the moment and nothing is working. Elizabeth Arden, expensive creams aren't working. Vaseline isn't working. Nivea, nothing. I've gone and got maternity nipple cream. If it can help sore nipples after breastfeeding, it can help my lips. Sounds bad, but I'm doing it. And also, in the baby section, I found these extra large cotton wool pads. They're massive. They're better. Boots baby section, unreal. Unreal. They're massive. You can cover your whole face with one. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for letting me share this with you, and thank you for even supporting me. Like, it's actually a joke how much you support me. I love you all so much. I just can't get over it. I can't get over it. So funny, in this book I have like random sweet wrappers, like random notes from ages ago. It's funny when you look through notepads, isn't it? Oh my god, listen to this. So before I started YouTube, I was gonna plan like my video, and oh my god, I wanted to make a 12-month plan, like which videos I wanted to do. January, set up YouTube, set up lighting, upload 3 videos, work out iMovie is, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. I am gonna cry. Year goals, 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. Oh my god, I am so thankful for this support. I don't think you'll ever understand how grateful I am, and I don't think I'll ever understand why I'm so lucky to get all this support from you. Hair all over the place. I love you all so much. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. You have no idea. We should probably play my game. Let's change the subject, but thank you for being angels, my angels. Hope I never lose you. Okay, let's play my miming game. If you're new to my channel, then I'll do a little sing-song. Well, actually, I don't do a sing-song. I just mime a song and you've got to guess it. Okay, this is an old one, Huns, but I've picked this one because it's strong, independent women. For all my single Huns out there, I got you. Okay, honeys, I really hope you liked this video. If you could give it a massive thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. I think she's that side, or is she that side? It's a little photo of me looking all cute. It's quite small though, but I wish it was a bit bigger, but whatever. I know it's just me sitting here talking about my ex-boyfriends and my previous relationships and giving you some advice, but I hope that someone can take something from it. I just want you to know that you're not alone. You are not alone. I will be with you. I'll be in your little heart. I'll be in your heart. Or I can be the angel on your shoulder. I can be the butterfly in your hair. Speaking of hair, my hair's itchy because it's greasy. I'm gonna get in the shower now. Yay! Until next time, angels, I'm gonna love you. And I'm gonna leave you. I love you. Is my boob gonna come out? I felt like my boob's been out this whole time.